Justin Hutson, longtime great friend and longtime San Diego State assistant basketball coach, back on Scott and BR on the Mighty 1090 via the Corky's hotline. Hey, Coach.
Hello. How you doing, fellas?
Doing good.
Great, Coach. How are you?
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure.
Yeah.
So, Justin, what has it been like since Coach Fisher's retirement press conference?
I mean, to tell you the truth, fellas, it hasn't been much different. I mean, Coach still comes in at from time to time, and our responsibilities are somewhat the same. You know, besides answering questions about Coach Fisher retiring, your day-to-day is not a whole lot different.
So, for all the talk that he was not really leaving until his contract was up, has he really hand reins over to Coach Dutcher and yourself and the other members of the staff?
Oh yeah, he's definitely done that, and you know, we weren't the first to know. I mean, we didn't know too much before you guys did. You know, it came as a surprise to us. You know, we're excited that he's going to still be around. You know, Coach has a wealth of knowledge, and he's not going anywhere. He's just not going to be in the day-to-day operations, but he'll still be a resource for us.
As for your promotion, it was talked about that day at the press conference that as Coach Dutcher moves, as I recall him saying, 18 inches over to his left,
Right.
it would mean that guys like yourself would also be moving over to the next seat, and there would be a title, and I'm going to guess, Justin, perhaps a raise. Is that right?
I don't know if it's a raise, but definitely the title's there. And excuse me if it's not as much, you know, that excitement for me. I'm just ready to help Coach Dutcher. You know, when I came back from UNLV, I pretty much knew I'd be the associate head coach when Coach Fisher retired. We just did not know when that was going to happen. We weren't in a rush for it to happen. Anytime you have somebody like Coach Fisher around as a resource, you're not trying to push him out the door. But it's not a huge surprise to me that I'm associate head coach because I pretty much knew that when I came back from UNLV.
I would take that. Associate head coach sounds pretty good with that team.
There's no question.
Yeah.
I was associate head coach at UNLV when I came back.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that part there is not a huge excitement for me, like, wow, okay, that's going to happen. But I'm just excited to be able to help Coach Dutcher.
Okay, I'll go with it. That the title is not really a big deal for you, but it was put out today by San Diego State. I think that they're trying to show everybody that as Coach Fisher has retired and Coach Dutcher has taken over, each of the coaches, whether it's just by title or if it is a raise, either way, that they're keeping the staff together. Everybody's going to be here, and everybody's going to get a little bit extra now that Coach Fisher's gone. I think that's my perception.
I think that's a testament to San Diego State as a university, to the administration, to Coach Dutcher, first of all, and having Coach Fisher, first of all, and Coach Dutcher having the confidence in me, to JD, to recognizing the accomplishments and my contributions to the program. I mean, I want to really thank him, to across campus, to the president, to Mary Rue, to Tom McCarron, to the administration in the athletic building, you know, everybody to be, you know, it's a family that moves people up when they're deserving, you know, and it starts with Coach Fish, and then moves down to Coach Dutch, and now it's trickling down to me, and I want to thank them for having the confidence in me, you know, being a surprise, no, but appreciative, yes.
And totally ready, prepared for that next step.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir. And Coach Fisher, one of his greatest attributes was delegating, and he delegated a lot to Coach Dutcher and myself and Coach Velasquez, and he prepared us for this. And we want to thank him for that, and now we're ready for the opportunity.
All right, Justin Hutson has been named today the San Diego State men's basketball associate head coach. He says not really a big deal to him because he came here under the expectation that he would eventually have that title. Well, now he does. So, Coach, just real quick on the San Diego State basketball team, obviously this past year, no postseason, and it was a painful thing for not just the players and the coaches, the fans, et cetera, et cetera. As you look into next year and you think about next year's roster, what do you think that you've got?
Well, no postseason for us, for everybody, as well as the fans, also for the staff and the administration was unacceptable. And we're very excited about the student athletes that we have coming back and incoming student athletes. We signed two very good freshmen. We had two guys sitting out, in Jalen McDaniels and Devin Watson. And we have a lot of experience returning. So we're very excited to get back on the track of the golden years that we've had, where we went to 6 out of 8 NCAA tournaments and and won a lot of Mountain West championships and been to 2 Sweet 16s. We're very excited to get back into that track and make all the Aztec family proud.
Now, is Devin Watson the kid who's a point guard that transferred from the University of San Francisco, who's originally a San Diego high school basketball star? We're talking about the same kid, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, and is he the guy that, again, you're just looking into next year, is he a guy that you expect to run the point for this team next year?
He's definitely a guy that's going to be on the floor at the point guard spot. Now, we're not asking him to be a savior. We had a very good point guard in Jeremy Hensley, who was able to play some point and some two last year when De'Aaron Williams played. But Devin Watson is going to be a great addition to us. He wanted to be an Aztec. He had a great career at University of San Francisco for the 2 years he was there. He had a great redshirt year. He worked very hard, and we're excited to see what he's going to do in the uniform for us.
Is it possible you get a kid like Devin Watson on the floor at the same time as Trey Kell and a Jeremy Hemsley? 3 guys who are all guards, but one guy now is in Watson is more a real point guard?
It's very possible to have a 3-guard lineup. I think the players, they're responsible for playing time. Everybody says the coach is responsible for playing time, or usually it's the players that decide that on how well they perform in practice and in the game. But I think you're definitely going to see a 3-guard lineup at times this year.
How about Malik Pope? I'm just curious, off season, is he healthy? Is he – because there's no way to really project, but that's really been the big problem, I think, is you have what many people consider an NBA talent who can't stay healthy. And if he could, we've seen how good he can be at times. So how's the offseason going for Malik?
I would have to agree with you. I think you're hitting that spot on. As long as Malik is healthy, we've been fine. And he missed 9 games this year. If he wouldn't have missed 9 games this year might have been totally different for us. And he's worked very hard to stay healthy. He always has. He's very motivated. He's excited about coming back. I think he's going to get his degree in the spring. So he's been a great representative for us on and off the floor, and we're excited to see what Malik is going to do in his senior year. Usually their senior year is when the light clicks on even more for guys because they see the light at the end of the tunnel. They know how hard they have to work. They respond to coaching a little different. They're just much more mature. And we're excited for Malik because he's been working very hard, and hopefully he can stay healthy. That's going to take a little luck, and we're going to have a great year with him on the floor.
All right, let's hope so. Justin Hutson has been named the associate head basketball coach at San Diego State. Coach, before you go, you watching the NBA playoffs? You watching Game 5 between the Rockets and San Antonio, or are you keeping up with Kawhi?
How great is that? I mean, with Kawhi Leonard, isn't that, how much pride is he bringing to the city and to the university? We couldn't be prouder of Kawhi. We're excited for him, and absolutely we're watching it. We're watching it with bells on, and we're excited for him and couldn't be more proud.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? I mean, honestly, I'll never forget there was a time, Kawhi's sophomore year, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he was the general manager of the Golden State Warriors then. It's not the same guy that they have now that's built this, this powerhouse. And I remember him sitting there, and I said, what do you think about Kawhi Leonard? And he said, he'll be okay. He'll get drafted in the second round. He'll make somebody's team. He'll have an NBA career as a bench player, but he'll never be much more than that. And that was a general manager in the NBA projecting what he thought Kawhi was going to be. Nobody could have ever, at least I don't think, dreamt that he would turn into this. What do you think, Justin?
Well, I think we all knew he was going to be really good. We all knew he had a chance to play in the NBA. I don't think any of us envisioned him being one of the best top 3 players in the NBA, but we all knew his work ethic was like it is. And, not everybody's as smart as you guys and Mr. Ziegler, who writes for us, so we don't read a lot of that opinions. Everybody has one, and they all stink sometimes. And, we're not really, too much involved in that, and seeing who's going to project. But we're focused more on being proud of Kawhi. He's a great representative of the university in San Diego as a whole, and we can look and say that's one of ours. It's not easy to project. That's why people get paid so much to do that, to get hired and fired for that.
Well, right. This guy got fired.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, Justin, congratulations on the promotion. I know you say to you, not really a big deal, but it is a nice title.
Nice.
And again, it can kind of get you one step closer to being a head coach in college basketball. Justin, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you guys having me, and thank you for everything.
Always, man. Thank you. Justin Hutson from the San Diego State basketball team.